Okay, this next product, you guys, deserves a standing ovation. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I cannot believe that I'm sitting down to film my August favorites video. We're moving into fall, which is insane to me, but I have a ton of products that I'm really excited to share with you guys that I've been loving over the past month, and actually almost like a solid third of everything I'm going to mention is actually things that I keep forgetting to put in favorites videos. So I've been using a few of these things for more than a month, but I'm really excited to share them with you guys. I've got some skincare stuff, some makeup obviously, and then I actually have a fragrance to share with you. It has been so long since I have fallen in love with any other fragrance besides Glossier You. That was my go-to for like years, for like 2 years I think. And I still wear it, but I found another perfume combination that I've absolutely been loving, so I'll share that with you guys at the end. Let's start with like skin and I have one body product, then we'll move into makeup, and then we'll do fragrance at the end. So first things first, let's do skin. This is one of the products that I keep forgetting to put in my favorites video because I have been loving it. I've been using this for about 2 months now, I think. If you guys know me, you will know that I love Holy Frog. Holy Frog makes my favorite cleansers. If you've watched my skincare routine videos that I've made, I featured them several times. This is truly what I use every single day. I use their brand every single day as my go-to cleansers, and this is their newest cleanser that they released. It's called the Sunapee Sacred Sea Brightening Powder Wash. It's the coolest formula. It is a powder formula. So how I like to use it is I'll dump a little bit into my hands and just put a little bit of water mixed in. And then you can kind of like customize the texture. If you want it to be a little bit more exfoliating, but it's gonna be like a gentle exfoliator, you just use a little less water. If you want it to be a little more foamy and fluffier, I guess, you can use a little bit more water when you mix it in. I've also enjoyed using this mixed into my other Holy Frog cleansers, so sometimes I'll mix it with the pink bottle, the hydrating one. The name is slipping my mind right now, but I like to mix it in with that as well. It's just a really cool, different kind of face wash that I've been really, really loving. And it's great for sensitive skin. I do feel like it's done a good job at kind of evening out my skin tone and texture in a really, really gentle way. And it's just fun to use. I love it. There isn't a product that Holy Frog has launched that I haven't loved, truly. You guys know how much I love them, and I can't believe I keep forgetting to mention this, so I wanted to make sure to do that today. Another product that has actually surprised me is one that I was sent a while back, and I ran out of my like balm cleanser remover that I usually use, which is from Drunk Elephant. I've gone through several of those. I just ran out of my second or third container of it, and I just haven't gotten around to repurchasing. Plus I get sent so many different kinds of like makeup removers, so I figured I would just like try another one before buying the one that I've been using, but I had every intention of picking that up again, but I haven't because I've loved this so much. This shocked me. So I've been using this nonstop. This is actually from Bobbi Brown, which is not a, oh, my face. Look at my face through the oil. Like, guys, I don't know why I get such a kick out of things like this when my face gets like distorted in reflections of things. It's just my favorite. Anyway, this is from Bobbi Brown, which you guys know is a makeup brand. So I don't usually like go to these types of brands for my skincare, you know? Like I prefer to go to skincare brands for skincare, obviously. But this is the Soothing Cleansing Oil from Bobbi Brown. You guys, this is one of the best cleansing oils I have ever tried in my life. So I usually double cleanse. So I'll use this as my very first step. I'll just put like 1 to 2 pumps, maybe if I'm wearing a lot of makeup, into my hand, and I'll go ahead and lather that all over my skin before applying anything else to it. So just over a dry face, but over my makeup, and it just works beautifully. It removes eye makeup so nicely. It doesn't hurt my eyes, and I have very sensitive eyes. It breaks down absolutely everything so effortlessly. And then I'll go ahead and kind of splash water in there and kind of massage it into the skin a little bit more and try to rinse it off. And then I'll go in with my second cleanser. So this is what I use at nighttime because I'm usually wearing makeup, so I like to remove that at night, but I have been shocked by this. It's so incredible. A little bit goes a very long way, but you can see how much I've been enjoying it. It's amazing. One of the best cleansing oils truly that I've ever tried, and I've tried a lot. Okay, this next product, you guys, deserves a standing ovation. So let me tell you a little backstory about this before we get into it. You guys probably know, and if you don't know, Over the past couple of years, I have tried to steer clear from chemicals or aluminum in my deodorant, so I have been on quite the journey to try to find a good, clean, natural deodorant that actually works. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be to be able to find something that works for me for a long period of time, and that works for me, you know, beyond just the day-to-day, like if I'm outside or if I'm working out. A lot of times, certain deodorants just don't last through those types of things, but this one, I'm absolutely floored by. I have a few favorite like deodorants that are natural that I really do love and they've been working for me, but nothing has worked as well as this has for me. So I'm talking about this right here. This is the new Kosas Sport Chemistry AHA Serum Deodorant. So it's a very, very different type of formula. It's a serum, so it's very thin, and it takes a minute to dry down. So that's one thing that you should be aware of. It's not a deal breaker for me personally because it works so well that I will do anything to just like be able to use this. So it has a rollerball applicator, which I'll show you right here. So like I said, it is a serum. So the formula is very thin. So the only thing that I would say is when you apply it, just kind of make sure you don't apply close too soon so that you can let the deodorant absorb into your armpits before going about your day. This is magical. Because there's AHAs in there, it balances the pH of your armpits and it gets rid of all of the stinky bacteria. I don't know why people haven't thought of this before, but it works so well, you guys. I think it was like 2 weeks ago now. I mentioned in another video, my brother-in-law got married and they got married in the hottest place in Utah. It was 111 degrees the whole day and we were outside and I was really, really nervous, like going down for the wedding. I was like, all I wear is natural deodorants. I'm not sure how my deodorants are gonna hold up. I had been using this for a couple of weeks and it had been working great, but I was like, I don't know if it's gonna work through that hot of weather. So I put it to the test, you guys, and I didn't stink one bit the whole day. And I remember that night I like took a whiff and I told my husband, I was like, Tylen, I don't stink. This is magic. So obviously you can tell how much I love this. I've been absolutely obsessed with it. I even bought the fragranced one. This one's the fragrance-free one. They have one that has a little bit of fragrance in it. The fragrance doesn't last very long. So honestly, I find myself reaching for the fragrance-free one because I'll just like spray perfume on and that'll be my fragrance. I don't need my armpits to have a fragrance. It's so good. Nothing has worked better for me than this. All right, now that we've talked about deodorant for 5 minutes, let's go ahead and move into makeup. I think that's all my skin and body stuff that I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's go into eyeshadow primers. This is something that I've been meaning to put in a favorites video for probably 3 or 4 months now, and I keep forgetting every time. And after I film my favorites video every month, I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention those again. You guys, I can't even tell you how much I love these. I talked about them a while back on my channel. I tested them out. They're the Too Faced Melted Chocolate Matte Eyeshadows. These are liquid eyeshadows, and they are to die for. You only need a very, very small amount, and I would recommend starting with the pigment on the area that you want your eyes to be most pigmented. So I always start like on the eyelid. Don't apply it in the crease or anything because that's gonna start to look really muddy really quick. Also, it dries down really fast, so work with one eye at a time in one area at a time. So I like to do my top lid first. I'll just dot it like on the eyelid, and then I'll just take a fluffy brush. Let me see if I can find the one I used today. I think I used this brush today to blend it out. Just like a normal fluffy brush, and I'll just kind of buff it in the center until it starts to kind of get a little more tacky and the brush kind of picks up the product. And then once there's less product on the brush, I'll buff it up and out, and it kind of creates its own transition shade. So this is what I'm wearing underneath the glitter shadow that I'm going to talk about later. I'm wearing this shade right here. It's one of the more cool toned shades in the range. Most of them are like warm browns, but I love all the colors. Seriously, I've been using all of them. This one I get a lot of use out of though. This is the shade Tiramisumi, and it's more of a cool toned mauve, and it's just really beautiful. These last so long. You can wear them on their own, and I find that they don't crease on me, and a lot of cream shadows do, but you can also use them as a great base and eyeshadow primer, and it makes your eyeshadow last so long. So as long as you do one eye at a time and kind of take those tips into consideration that I just talked about, it's really easy to work with, and I'm obsessed. And I finally put them in a favorites video, which I'm glad I didn't forget because they are so good. I wanted to quickly mention another eyeshadow primer that I've been so into, and this is one that I did try out this month. It's the CoverGirl Exhibitionist Lid Paint, and I cannot get enough of the shade 110 Coconuts. It's the most perfect taupey brown. I love this because for me and for my skin tone, this makes a great like everyday cream shadow for me. It's so foolproof and it's light enough to where it just kind of blends into the skin around my eyes and it doesn't look too harsh or too dark for me. It's just really great. And I like to use it the same way that I use the Too Faced liquid eyeshadows. I'll use it on its own sometimes, or I'll use it as an actual eyeshadow primer, and it has a little bit of color so it cancels out discoloration. It's great. I love this and I love the Too Faced ones as well. So I wanted to make sure to mention those. Let's see, let's move into, I guess we'll keep talking about eye products really quick. This is another product I've been meaning to mention for a while. This is the Nabla Miami Lights Glitter Palette. This is so beautiful. I love that there's just glitters in here because you guys know me. I love to wear glitters on the eyes, and I love that it's just a palette of glitters because I can take something like my matte liquid eyeshadows or any other eyeshadow palette and kind of build a look with that. And then if I feel like it needs a little bit more something or a little more pizzazz, you know, this is where this comes in handy. And this is amazing because I've worked with a lot of glitters before, and these are great because you don't need a glitter glue, which is something that I really appreciate about this. So I'm wearing this purple shade all over the lid, just on top of this liquid shadow that I talked about. And the thing that I love about this is when you apply it with your fingers and you swipe it across your lids, it all transfers onto your eye with zero fallout and it all comes off of my finger, if that makes sense. So it really does stick well to the area that you apply it. It lasts all day long. I love it. The colors are really great and beautiful. This color is really amazing, super iridescent and really cool. This color is awesome too. This is more of that purple ethereal thing, and then there's this really beautiful bronze color if you're into more of like a bronzy smoky eye. But I love this. I travel with it every time I go anywhere because, not that I'm traveling, but you know, when I went to the wedding, that's the only traveling that I've done and I brought this with me. It's just really good. It's just really good to have. It's something that adds to your collection and the formula is great, and I am picky when it comes to my pressed glitters, and I love that one. I wanted to also mention two other glittery eyeshadow toppers that I've been really loving. I obviously couldn't wear these because I was wearing the Nabla one today, but these two are the Jelly Much eyeshadows from Colourpop. Both of these are a part of separate collections that Colourpop launched this past month. So I was able to try them, and these two shades are amazing. So I have the first shade, which is so good. It makes an incredible topper. This is called Sage Bundle, and it has the most beautiful iridescent kind of blue-green sparkles in it. It just looks really beautiful over any eyeshadow. I've been loving it. And then the other one is called Mystical, and this is like a really beautiful kind of golden, rose gold, shifty kind of a glitter. So I've been really enjoying these to wear on top of any eyeshadow, honestly, and these two aren't too pigmented in the base of them, so I really do feel like it works over a lot of eyeshadows that I apply underneath. You can just kind of customize your look with these, and they've been great. So I feel like all of these products, the Jelly Much shadows and these pressed glitters, are really great additions, and you can again use them over top of any eyeshadow palette. And these ones aren't going to be as chunky and as intense as the Nabla glitters, but they're very, very beautiful, and it's a great way to add something special to your eye look. So I wanted to make sure to mention those. Okay, let's move into complexion. This is another product that I keep forgetting to talk about, and I wanted to make sure to just quickly mention them because I know I've mentioned them a few times on my channel already, but this was a part of the same collection that the pressed glitters came in. These are also from Nabla. They're the Skin Bronzing Sun-Kissed Effect Bronzing Powders. I get the most use out of Soft Revenge, which is more of like a contour shade, but then I like to build up a warmer shade called Ombre on top. And these are like a really cool, buttery, kind of baked formula. It's what I'm wearing all over the skin. I just feel like you can't go overboard with this, and I'm heavy-handed with my bronzers, so that says a lot. When a bronzer is a little bit more sheer and buildable, and it just looks really natural and like it's like coming from your skin, it's not looking like you contoured or you're like changing the color of your face, if that makes sense. It's a little bit more of a sheer, very easy to work with formula, and I wanted to make sure to mention that, as well as the Nabla Skin Glazing Glass Finish Glow Powders that are basically like glowy blushes. Here are the two shades that I love. I think these might be the only two shades they launched. I could be wrong, but I love this shade right here called Independence. And then I'm wearing the shade Lola today. And again, it's the same kind of concept and formula as the bronzers. It's just very like sheer, very easy to apply. There's a little bit of a sheen to it, so it's gonna make your skin look very healthy. Even though it's not a cream, it kind of gives the effect of a cream product, which I really love. So that's what I have on the cheeks today. So it gives you a bit of color and a bit of glow as well, which is beautiful. Let's see here. What should I talk about next? Usually when I do favorites videos, I kind of line everything up in a row, but everything's scattered across my desk. So I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, next up, this is definitely a more recent find to me, but I already love it so much and I have not put it down since I tried it. This is something that I have a feeling is going to remain in my top favorite drugstore highlighters for a very, very long time. So this is the new Catrice Cosmetics Sungasm Face and Body Highlighter. It's massive. This is only $10 and it's one of the most gorgeous highlighters I've ever put on my face. Seriously. Drugstore and high-end included. This is what I have on the skin. It makes your skin look so glossy and glowy and dewy. A little bit goes a very long way. I personally love to take a brush and kind of just like press it into the skin. You can buff a little bit if you have a small amount of product, and you can build it up, of course, if you want more glow. And then I always like to take a sponge and kind of like press it into the skin, and it just melts into the complexion. It looks so beautiful. I cannot believe this is only $10. I don't think I'll ever run out of this, but it's seriously amazing. It looks darker in the pan than how it applies on the skin. I was worried that this would be a little too deep for my complexion because I'm quite pale, but this really does work for me, and I'm so excited about this. This is something that I think so many of you guys will love, and I feel like it's gonna work on so many different skin tones. It just has a gorgeous undertone, and it's not too pigmented at the base either, so it's not gonna look chalky. It's just gonna blend into your skin tone and kind of give it that glass skin effect. It's beautiful. I've been obsessed with it. Okay, next I wanna kind of bring up a product that could be considered maybe an honorable mention because I've owned this before, but I recently purchased the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in a lighter shade. I only used to own the deeper shade, which is Cannelle. I used to use this as my blemish concealer, and I didn't really use it under the eyes. I think I said this in another video recently, but I was just playing around with makeup one day and I tried this under the eyes, and even though it wasn't the right shade, I loved how it looked. It just smooths out the under eye area. It's a little bit more whipped than the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, but it's not drying, and it just looks very flawless and very glam, and it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin too, which I really like. So I decided to pick up the shade Vanilla, which is what I use in the Radiant Creamy Concealer for underneath the eyes to brighten. I've been loving this as my under eye concealer. A little bit goes a long way. It's very pigmented, but again, that whipped formula just kind of smooths out the T-zone. I've been loving it, especially if you're somebody who drags your concealer down a little bit more like I like to do. And if you have larger pores here, it's just been great for that, like to just smooth everything out. But again, it doesn't feel too heavy. It's just beautiful. I've been really loving this as well. So I wanted to give that a little shout out. Even though I've tried the formula for a long time, I've fallen in love with it as an under eye concealer more recently. All right, next I wanted to talk about this powder from by Terry. I have, whoa, I almost dropped it. Oh my gosh, I did not put the lid back on this. Okay, that could have been terrible, but we're good. This is from by Terry. This is their Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. This is one of their most popular products, I'm pretty sure. This powder is so lightweight, so invisible, and it's great for if you are afraid of looking powdery or cakey, or if you have more mature skin and you can't find a powder that's like gonna set your makeup without looking crepey. This is amazing for that, but it's so finely milled that sometimes this one is a little bit harder to work with. It's still beautiful, and I got the hang of it after a while, and I still love using this, but more recently they launched a pressed powder version of it. This is so much easier to work with. It's amazing to travel with. I'm obsessed with it. The formula is seriously fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of touch up my makeup on one side of the face so you can see. It's a very hydrating powder, so you don't have to worry about it looking powdery or cakey. And again, it's a hydrating powder, so it's not going to dry out the skin. So you can kind of see, I've had this makeup on for a while now, so I wanted to show you how it just kind of smooths everything out. It's a great touch-up powder. I've been keeping it in my purse recently, and it's just so good for when you want to touch up your makeup, but you don't want to add more makeup to the skin, because you know how when you touch up with more of like a foundation-y type powder, you can risk it caking up a little bit more. This won't do that. It's just such a beautiful powder. I'm so happy they launched a pressed formula. I love this, and I, again, feel like it's easier to work with than the loose powder, so I almost like it better than the loose one. I'm still gonna get use out of this because I do love it, but the pressed version is seriously amazing. It's so good. So this next product is one that's more recent to me, but it's also one that I put to the test over that outdoor wedding in the hot, hot weather, and it really did help with the longevity of my makeup, I swear. So I recently bought this. It's Charlotte Tilbury's new setting spray, and when I heard that Charlotte Tilbury was launching a setting spray, I knew I had to try it, but I'm pretty loyal to my Urban Decay All-Nighter, so I wasn't sure if this would like compete with it at all, but honestly it does. It worked so well for me. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and it's great. I'm wearing it today, and I feel like it really does help with the longevity of my makeup. So you can apply it like during makeup or before makeup, or you can use it at the end, or all three. And I do feel like it's been making a difference. Obviously, I haven't used it for a super long time, but I did notice a difference when I used it over that hot day when I was outside, and my makeup stayed, which I was very impressed with. So I had to give credit to that, and I wanted to make sure to kind of give it a shout out, because I think I mentioned that I was going to try this and I would let you guys know how I liked it, and I've truly been enjoying it. It's really, really good. It's not going to give you like a dewy finish or anything like that. It's going to be a little bit more maybe satin. It's not necessarily matte either. Just a good in between. It's not going to give you like a dewy finish. That's what a dewy setting spray is for. It's just a good setting spray that leaves you a little bit velvety when you first apply it, but not super matte, if that makes sense. Okay, this next product is also one that's kind of new to me, but I love it so much. It's this lip liner from NYX. This is in the shade Natural. It's what I'm wearing all over the lips. I did put a little bit of the Milani Champagne lip gloss, the Keep It Full lip gloss over top, but I've had this makeup on for a while and it kind of faded a little bit. So what you see is the lip liner color. I'll kind of fill in my lips a little bit more so you can get a better idea. But it's seriously the prettiest, just perfect pinky, neutral nude color. And I've been using this almost every day, I feel like. It works great for when you have a little bit more of a bold eye look, but it also works great if you just have like your everyday makeup on. I feel like it's a great color. And the fact that it's a drugstore lip pencil, it makes it even better. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this color. There's not much more to say about it than that. It's just a great neutral lip color that leans a little bit pink, but it's not too pink, it's not too brown, it's just right in the middle. I've been loving it. All right, I'm looking at my list. I think I have everything. The last thing is the perfumes I'm gonna talk about. So I have heard about Jo Malone perfumes for a while now. I know how many people love Jo Malone perfumes. I personally had never really explored Jo Malone at all, but I kind of wanted to. I was looking for like a new fragrance because I've been wearing Glossier You for so long, and I still love that perfume. I feel like I'm gonna constantly wear that still, but I was just looking for a way to like spice things up a little bit, you know? So I actually ended up ordering this like sample pack off of Sephora. I'll have it linked down below because it was a really great way to just try out different perfumes. So I used that for a while and I tried out each perfume that was in there. I came up with my favorites, and then I started to just explore mixing two perfumes, and I landed on this combo, and it is divine. It's so good. So I ended up getting the smaller bottles, but they're like the bigger size bottles. I figured that I would just do this since I like the combo of two. It would be a pretty pricey perfume to buy the full-size bottles of two perfumes to wear together. So I decided to just get the smaller ones, but I feel like if I end up going through these and loving them, I will invest in the larger bottles because this combination is to die for. So the first one that I fell in love with is the Wood Sage and Sea Salt. This is a little bit more of like a masculine, gosh, I'm not very good at describing fragrances, but this one's like a little bit more, yeah, masculine. Like it's a little bit more woodsy, obviously, Wood Sage and Sea Salt, and it's just a really, really beautiful scent. But it's still fresh at the same time, so I really loved that one. And then I tried out this one right here, which is English Pear and Freesia. This one's a lot more lighter, a little bit citrusy, but the pear is really nice in here as well, and it's a little floral. But anyway, they're both really nice on their own, but together, they are so good. I think it's because this one's a little more masculine, so it kind of rounds out the fragrance, and then this one's a little bit lighter and fresh. So the combo is just amazing. I love it. I do one spray of each, so equal amounts of each, and I have been loving how I've smelled. they're so good, but I also like how I can wear them on their own if I'm feeling like smelling a little more fresh, maybe in the springtime. I feel like I would reach for this. And this one is great like for evenings, in my opinion. It's just a little bit more, I don't know. It's just good. I really love the Wood Sage and Sea Salt. I know this is one of their most popular fragrances, and they recommend like combining certain ones on Sephora's website, but this combo, I'm telling you, it's really good. All right, you guys, so I think that completes this video. Let me just triple check my list because I hate when I forget to talk about things that I've been meaning to talk about. Nope, it looks like I got everything. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't believe it's another favorites video of 2020, but here we are. Moving into fall, what can you do? I would love to know in the comments what you guys have been loving this month, and if you guys have any similar favorites to me, I would love to know that as well, so leave a comment down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button, and if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe, and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.